So, today we're going to talk about the hidden science of why we buy things. We're diving deep into Martin Lindstrom's fantastic book, Buyology, to uncover all those subconscious forces that are really pulling the strings on our shopping decisions, often when we don't even have a clue.
Okay, let me ask you something. Just think about the last thing you bought. Could be your morning coffee, the shoes you're wearing, or even the phone you might be watching this on. Why did you pick that one? I mean, really, why that one over all the other options?
And you probably think you know the answer, right? You've got a perfectly logical reason ready to go. You'll say, oh, it was the price, or the quality, or maybe a friend told you about it. But what if I told you that's just the official story? What if the real reason is a secret that even your own brain is keeping from you? A decision made in a part of your mind that you don't consciously control.
All right, so let's get right into it and start with a big lie we all tell ourselves. This is so important because it's the fundamental reason why so much of what we think we know about marketing and why we buy things is just plain wrong. You know, when a market researcher with a clipboard asks us why we bought something, we give these really rational, sensible answers. Price, quality, features. It's the story we tell ourselves and others to feel like we're in control. But the science of neuromarketing, it tells a totally different story. The real drivers are these hidden, emotional, sometimes totally irrational forces bubbling just under the surface. Things we often can't or maybe won't even admit to ourselves. And get this, that disconnect, it has huge consequences. Think about it. Companies spend billions and billions of dollars on research asking us what we want, and yet a staggering 8 out of every 10 new products launched in the US fail within just a few months. In Japan, it's even worse. It's almost 10 out of 10. Why? Well, it's because these companies are listening to our logical, rational answers, but it's our irrational brains that are actually making the call in the store aisle. They're basically gambling billions because they're asking the wrong person. They should be asking our brains.
Look, it's not like we're all out there intentionally lying in focus groups. The truth is, our conscious mind is usually the last one to get the memo about what our subconscious has already decided. And that's exactly why traditional market research can be so incredibly flawed. It's asking us to explain behavior that we don't even consciously understand ourselves. So, if we can't trust what people say they'll do, how in the world do we get to the actual truth? Well, you have to bypass the mouth and go straight to the source. It's time to interview the brain. And this brings us to this fascinating field called neuromarketing. It's this really cool marriage of science and marketing. Instead of asking people questions, researchers use medical tech, like brain scanners, to see how our brains actually react to ads, logos, and products in real time. It's like having a direct line into our subconscious to see all the hidden thoughts and feelings that make up our personal biology. And the main tool for this job is the fMRI machine. Now, we're not talking about some small gadget here. This thing is a 32-ton, $4 million beast. The way it works is pretty clever. When a part of your brain works harder, it needs more oxygen. The fMRI tracks the flow of that oxygenated blood, letting scientists see exactly which areas of your brain light up in response to something. It's an unbelievably precise way to measure stuff like desire, fear, or craving. And as Lindstrom puts it, this technology is nothing short of revolutionary. It is the closest we have ever come to having a real window into the human mind, a way to get the raw, uncensored truth about what we really want and what truly drives us. It's a total game changer, not just for advertisers, but for understanding ourselves. Okay, so now we know how they're peeking into our brains. So what has this amazing technology actually revealed? Well, it's uncovered some absolutely shocking mistakes in the world of advertising. We're about to see how billions of dollars were spent on campaigns that didn't just fail. In some cases, they did the exact opposite of what they were supposed to. Our first case study is something we have all seen a million times. For decades now, governments all over the world have poured billions of dollars into putting these graphic health warnings on cigarette packs. The logic seems totally solid, right? Show people the horrible consequences of smoking, and they'll be scared into quitting. And these warnings are stark. They're direct, they're impossible to ignore. They range from simple text that says smoking kills to these gruesome, full-color photos of diseased lungs and decaying teeth. You'd think this would be the ultimate way to get people to stop. But here's the reality. Despite all those warnings, back in 2006 alone, people around the globe smoked nearly 6 trillion cigarettes. That's about 10 million cigarettes sold every single minute. Clearly, something here is not adding up.
So that brings us to the million-dollar question, or in this case, the billion-dollar question. If these messages are so clear and terrifying, why are they failing so spectacularly? This is exactly what the Buyology study wanted to find out by putting actual smokers inside an fMRI machine. And the answer they found was just stunning. When smokers saw these warning labels, their brains didn't really register fear or suppression. Instead, the labels lit up a part of the brain called the nucleus accumbens. You know what that is? It's the brain's craving center. It's the spot that lights up when we desire something, whether it's drugs, sex, or nicotine. Incredibly, the health warnings designed to stop smoking were actually acting as a powerful trigger, encouraging smokers to light up. They essentially became a killer marketing tool for big tobacco, all paid for by public health budgets. Just wow. That is a massive mistake. But believe it or not, it's not the only one. Let's pivot to another billion-dollar industry that's built on a pretty shaky assumption: product placement. And our case study here is one of the biggest TV shows of all time, American Idol. So back in its heyday, American Idol had 3 main sponsors, and each was paying a cool $26 million a year. First, you had Coca-Cola, which was just woven into the very fabric of the show. The judges' cups, the red-themed rooms, you name it. Then there was Singular Wireless, which was essential for the interactive text message voting. And finally, there was Ford, which just ran normal 30-second commercials during the ad breaks. So researchers used brain scanning tech to track how well viewers remembered these brands. The results were absolutely mind-blowing. As you can see here, Coca-Cola, with its deep integration into the story, had a huge positive impact on brand recall. Singular did pretty well too. But then, look at Ford. Their brand recall wasn't just low, it was negative. This means people's memory of the Ford brand was actually worse after watching the show. Their $26 million ad campaign was literally making people forget them. So what's the big lesson here? It's that our brains have this incredibly powerful filter. If a brand isn't part of the story, if it doesn't play an emotional role in the narrative we're watching, our brain just treats it as clutter. See, Coke was tied to the hopes and dreams of the contestants. Singular was part of the drama of voting. Ford was just an interruption. It was white noise that our brains actively worked to ignore. Being part of the story is everything. But why? Why is being part of the story so important? Why do our brains crave that emotional connection that Ford's ads were completely missing? Well, the answer lies in a very special set of brain cells. Cells that are responsible for empathy, for trends, and for our deep-seated urge to just copy each other. The answer is something remarkable called mirror neurons. These are a special kind of brain cell that basically blur the line between seeing something and doing something. When you watch someone perform an action, these neurons fire in your brain as if you were doing that exact same thing yourself. They are the neurological basis for things like empathy and imitation. And their discovery was almost a total accident. Scientists in Italy were monitoring a monkey's brain when a researcher came back from lunch eating an ice cream cone. As the guy lifted the cone to his mouth, the monkey's brain monitor went absolutely crazy. The very same neurons fired as if the monkey itself were eating the ice cream, even though it hadn't moved an inch. In its brain, it was experiencing the researcher's action. And this isn't just some weird thing that happens in monkeys. No, this is happening to you all day, every single day. When you see someone yawn, you feel the urge to yawn. When you see an athlete get injured on TV, you physically cringe. That sudden desire to buy the same white headphones everyone seems to be wearing, or wanting that outfit on a mannequin, that's your mirror neurons tiring, making you subconsciously want to imitate what you're seeing. They make us feel what others feel. And, crucially, desire what others have. They are the engine of trends. So, we've seen how our brains can be tricked by ads and powerfully influenced by what other people are doing. And look, that might feel a little unsettling, maybe like we're not fully in the driver's seat, but knowledge is power. So let's try to reframe this a bit. Okay, so it's true. Advertisers absolutely use this science, whether they call it neuromarketing or just have a really good gut feeling, to get us to buy more stuff. But this knowledge doesn't have to be a one-way street. There is a really powerful flip side to all of this. And this is really the core message of the book. As Martin Lindstrom argues, this knowledge isn't just a tool for manipulation, it's a tool for empowerment. The more we understand about our own subconscious triggers, about our own seemingly irrational behaviors, the better we are at recognizing them out in the real world. By understanding our own programming, we actually gain more control, not less.
At the end of the day, learning about your own biology isn't about admitting that you're a puppet. It's about finally being able to see the strings. It gives you the power to hit pause, to reflect, and to make a truly conscious choice.
So the next time you're out and you feel that powerful, sudden urge to buy something, that jacket, that new gadget, that brand of soda, just stop and ask yourself, who's really in control right now? Is it the rational, thinking you, or is it your ancient, imitative brain just firing away in the background? The choice, of course, is always yours. But now you know what to look for.